Shalom. I'd like to start off this video by giving our honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well. Peace, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. Alright, Lord willing, this will be edifying. I'm going straight to the point. It says here in Proverbs 27:12, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. That is the difference between the elect, those that have the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that walking in the fear of the Lord, that have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, according to the knowledge, according to the spirit of truth, according to the laws and the testimonies, and the testimony of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They foresee the evil, understanding the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? And they hide themselves. They hide themselves in the pavilion of the Most High. Okay? They hide themselves in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They set their defense, they set their hope on the Creator of heaven and earth. Okay? The Creator of life itself. Alright? But the simple, the fool, okay, they pass on. Okay? They disregard the signs, they disregard the warnings, okay, and they pass on and are punished, okay, because that is the end of those that refuse to hearken. Punishment, judgment, okay, the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, okay, because if you disregard the warnings, if you refuse to hearken, it's as if you think you have a better way, as if you can save yourself, but there is no other way. The only way to obtain salvation, to obtain mercy in the time of wrath, is through Yahushai. Okay, he said, "I am the way, the path, the life, the door." Okay, you can't get back to the Father unless by Him. Okay, you can only get to the Father by Him. So if you seek to find another way, you're only gonna end up finding judgment. Okay, you see. And that is the difference between those that have been elected, okay, those that have been chosen worthy of having that foresight, okay. And that's the difference between the elect and those that are the wicked of the house of Israel, okay. The elect are able to foresee, to understand before something happens. They see the end of this kingdom, and that is why they're not gonna trust in this kingdom. They're not gonna as I said, they're not going to stay upon him that oppresseth them. Okay? They're not going to stay upon him that afflicts them anymore. But rather they will trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, especially in the days that we're coming into. And knowing that Isa Edom. Yeah, let me see. Let me bring that out. Because the elect, they have the foresight. They can see beyond what's in front of them. They can see years ahead, just as Yahushua was speaking over the heads of people. Okay, Yahushua was speaking about Jacob's trouble. Yahushua was speaking of 70 AD. Okay, Yahushua was speaking about his return. Okay, 2,000 years ago, he was speaking about something that he was speaking about today. 2,000 years ago, he was speaking about today, man, because he had the foresight and he has given this gift unto his servants, unto his disciples, so that they can be warned of the things that are about to happen in the days that we're in the times that we're in. Okay, so it says here the triumph of the wicked. It says what? Job 20:5. I'll start at 4. Job 20:4. Knowest thou not this of old? So you know this? Don't you know this information? Since man was placed upon the earth, so that's an information. That's a knowledge that is universal in a sense. It's even in even when you watch movies, the villain never wins. Even if he wins, eventually he will lose. Okay, the villain never wins. Only the righteous win at the end of the day. Okay, the concept of good always defeating evil is a concept that is biblical. It's biblical. Okay, because again, wisdom excelleth folly. The light is stronger than darkness, and that is why at the end, the righteousness always defeats wickedness, because again, the Creator itself is a power of righteousness that detests, okay, that hates wickedness. Okay, And that is why verse 5, the triumphing of the wicked is short. Okay, their victory, their boast, their glory comes to naught. It is short. It is time sensitive. Okay, the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment, and the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment. Yes, they might rejoice now, as it says, "Be ye glad, daughters of Edom, daughter of the Chaldeans." Roughly paraphrasing, this is their time to shine. Okay, the Edomites, these other nations, as it says, the time of the Gentiles. Okay, be fulfilled. Okay, this is their time to reign over the children of the Lord. Okay, over you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those that have been scattered among the nations. Okay, this is the time for the heathen to oppress us, to be the head. Okay, but as the Lord has established, measured the times, the seasons, and He will not move them. Okay, He has established a time when Yahweh will return and reestablish order on the earth. Okay, once that's established, it's gonna reign forevermore. Okay, the Israelites will never, as it says, affliction shall not rise up a second time. Okay, and that is the foresight that we're seeing, and that is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for the future. When you're coming to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, when you start counting the cost, it's not only for the present, it's for the future. It's an investment that you're making. Okay, because we understand that we're not going to invest in this wicked kingdom, as I've mentioned, because the triumphing of the wicked is short. We know that this kingdom has to come to an end. We know, we see it, even if it's not, even before starting with the elder apostles, the prophecies, they've been speaking about these things. They've been speaking about prophecy for the past 2 decades, for decades. Okay, out in the highways and byways, pushing forth the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, way before the prophecies were tangible, way before it was, way before you could, way before you couldn't deny it. They were there pushing forth this message, this doctrine. Okay, you see, and it's undeniable. Okay, wars, rumors of war, earthquakes, in diverse places, pestilence. Okay, sedition, uproar of the people. All these things are happening all over the world. Okay, signs and wonders in the skies, chariot sightings. Okay, more than ever before. Okay, these are all signs of the end of this kingdom and the return of Hamashiach. Okay, this is, as it says, look look up, knowing that your salvation is nearer than you believe. Okay, you see, and knowing that the elect will not put their trust in this wicked kingdom, but rather will put their trust in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, because they have the foresight to understand that this is not the end all be all. This is not your rest. We understand that through the knowledge of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Okay, through the knowledge, through this light. Okay, we will not be left. How can I say? We will not be left to our own devices to make the wrong decision. Okay, if you are of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, if you're a part of His flock, you will follow Him even unto death. Okay, even if the push comes to shove and you would have to put your life down, rather than to take the microchip, rather than to be chipped and submit to this wicked kingdom, you will gladly do it, knowing that even the Lord is able to bring you back to life, just as Abraham had faith that he was able to bring Isaac back to life if he sacrificed him. Okay, and by doing so, having that mentality, that's what proved him to be a friend of the Most High. And in like manner, if you have that same mentality, you will also be found as a friend of the Most High. Okay, and to be found and to have that honor, there's nothing better in the world. Okay, you see. It says here in 2 Peter 2, I'll start at 9. The Lord is not slack concerning His promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, none of the elect should perish, but all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. Okay, unaware. It will come as a thief in the night for those that are not prepared, those that are not watching, those that don't have the foresight. If you know that, if you know, in a sense, if you know that the master is coming back home, you'll prepare yourself. Okay, if you had the inside scoop that when you see these things happen, the wars, pestilence, famine, all over the world, when you see these signs, prepare yourself, okay? Because Yahweh Shai is on his way back. Having this information, you're setting yourself up for his return. You're preparing your inward man for the return of Yahweh Shai, so that when he comes, you can be found of him in peace, okay? You see, as a you can be found of him as a friend and a good servant, okay, of good faithful servant, rather than a disobedient enemy, okay? So again, it says here, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with the great noise. Okay, this wicked system, okay, the governments, okay, the powers that be that are established in this wicked kingdom, they're gonna be shaken, they're gonna be rooted out, they're gonna pass away with a great noise. Okay, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. The works, the mannerisms, the way of life, okay, the feminism, Moism, um, the disrespecting of elders, debauchery, okay, the disrespect of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all that is gonna be out the window, okay, when Yahushai returns, okay, all that the way of life of this hedonistic way of life is gonna be a thing of the past, okay, when Yahushai returns and establishes righteousness on the earth, okay, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. Seeing, that is the key word, seeing, being able to foresee that all these things are going to pass away. Being able to, is as if you're already there. Okay, you're living your life as if you're already there. Okay, that's the difference between the elect and those that are in the world. Those that are in the world, they're not seeing the kingdom. They can't see the kingdom. They're in darkness. Okay, they're blinded. Okay, because they're lost. Okay, they're lost in the ways of this world. Okay, they have no faith. Okay, you must have faith to be able to see these things, to be able to live these things, to be able to do, to be able to follow after Yahweh Shai. Okay, you have to have faith, because again, what is faith without faith? Let me bring that out so I don't butcher it. Let's see. Is it in Hebrew? Okay. It says here, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you don't see it with your physical eye, but you can see it with your mind's eye. You can see it in the spirit that things are about to happen. It's like a premonition, just as it says prophecy. Prophecy is what to say before it happens. It didn't happen yet, but you can tell that it's going to happen because you have been warned of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You have been revealed the secrets of the future. Okay? Because again, the Lord is the one controlling the times. He revealed it the end before the beginning. So he tells his prophets what's going to happen before it happens. That's exactly what it means. And the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so when you're walking according to the right vibration, according to the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, if you're really a man of the Lord, you'll be able to break down and understand the scriptures, okay, and have faith that this is the truth, okay. Without proofs, you won't need proof. You will have faith to believe that this is the way, okay. So it says here, faith. What is? Hope seen. Okay. Okay, it says here Romans 8:24. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, what does he yet hope for? But again, us in the spirit, we see the kingdom of heaven. Okay? It says here, but if we hope for that we see not, then what then do we Salakia? It says here, but if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Okay? You see, so with patience, even if we don't see it, we're waiting for it, because again, we have sure words of prophecy, sure words. Okay? And understanding that everything that is written in the scriptures happened, is happening, or will come to pass. Okay? It is, as it says, it is easier for heaven and earth to pass away than for the words for my words to pass away. Okay, it's easier for this kingdom to fall to the ground. It's easier for this for the kingdom of the so-called white man to come to an end than for the words of the Bible to be found false. Okay, you see, and that's something that we can take to the bank. Okay, that's something that we could put our trust in. All right. So again, even if we hope for something that is not seen, but in the spirit we can see it, we can feel it, we can sense it. And as we're getting closer and closer to the end of this wicked empire, it says what? At the end it shall speak. Okay, at the end, and this is the time that it's speaking, because we're at the end. We're at the end of this wicked kingdom. Okay, Habakkuk 2. It says here, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, okay, the prophecy, the words of prophecy, make it plain upon tables, that he that run may read it. So when you read the words of the scriptures and you understand the intentions, when the Lord opens your eyes and your mind to understand his intentions for this wicked kingdom, the fact that he's going to destroy it and judge all those that forsook him, all those that refuse to hearken unto his word and to acknowledge him as he is. Okay, once you understand that, it puts a fear in your heart. Okay, so that you can be so that you can do the things that are pleasing unto him, so that you can be exempt from these evils. Okay, you see, so that he may run that readeth it. That running, it means you putting forth the actions in order to be found faithful, in order to escape from from that judgment. Okay, that readeth it. When you're reading it, meaning you understand it. Okay, so you run because you understood the intentions of the Lord. You had that foresight, okay, to know that, okay, that's what the Lord is about to bring these things on the earth. So I have to do the things that are pleasing unto the Lord, so that I can escape these things. Okay, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. So these visions were all set up for particular times in history. Okay, but at the end, okay, which we are at the end of this wicked kingdom, it shall speak, meaning what? They shall come to pass. Okay, these things are it's no more prophecy. It became fact. Okay, because prophecy is things that we hope for with patience, but now that they're here, you don't have to hope for them. Okay, what is hope? That is seen. Okay, once you see it, it's tangible. It's no more hope, it becomes facts. Okay, you see, you won't have to ask if World War III is here, if we're in World War III, when the sirens are blowing and you receive that letter in the mail telling you that you have been drafted to go to war. Okay, when it tells you that we're in World War III, you won't have to ask if this is really World War III. You will know. Okay, when bombs are being dropped on your head top. Okay, when you finally get that letter, as I mentioned, that you have to go overseas and fight for your country. Okay, then you'll understand that this is real. Okay, because right now we're talking about it, but when it comes to pass, it's something when the black people, the so-called black guys, the niggas on the corner, with their Power Ranger garments, talk about World War III. But it's another thing when you actually get that letter from the government telling you that you have to go overseas and fight. Then it's no joke. Okay, then it's reality. Okay, you see, at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So again, you put your trust in these words. Okay, the Lord, every word that comes out of the Lord's mouth will not return unto him void. Everything that he said has to come to pass. Okay, the Lord is not a man that he should lie. Okay, and nor the son of man that he should I don't want to butcher it. Okay, but again, these things will come to pass, and again, the elect have the foresight to understand that these things will come to pass, and that is why they're fighting for the future. Okay, and I'm gonna end with this. It says here in Matthew 19:27, then Peter answered and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all, okay, and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Okay, so that's Peter telling Yahushua that he forsook his life, his career, his way of life, his family, okay, everything that he had in the world, his own life. He hated his own life to follow after Yahushua. He started asking Yahushua, what are we gonna have in return? Okay, for the sacrifice that we have done. And Yahushua said unto them, verily, verily, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory. So this is the time that we're going to come into in the near future. Okay, when Yahushua is going to sit in the throne of his glory, ye shall also sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that had forsaken houses and brethren and or sister or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. You see the thing? On one side, you have to forsake even your own life, okay? And which to the world it seems crazy. To the world it seems like the worst thing to do. Well, you're gonna reject your family, everything that you built, everything that you had set up in your life. You're gonna forsake it to believe in Yahushua, okay? You're gonna turn your back on everything that you built to follow after Yahushua. Yes, because again, the reward that he has promised unto those that serve him is greater than what the world can offer. And again, we have having that foresight, you know that the things that you were building are not eternal. Okay, so again, as it says, let me let me see. It says here in 1 Corinthians 9:25, every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. So yeah, so of course, yeah, it seems stupid for those that are in the world that don't have this understanding, for you to give up everything, the things that you had going on in your life, okay? But they don't understand that the things that you are fighting for in the world are corruptible. They come to an end. They decay. Okay, they're not eternal. They have a time limit. They have an expiry date. Everything that comes from the world has an expiry date. Okay, the only way that something becomes immortal is when you cross that realm from the carnal to the spiritual. The spiritual is eternal. Okay, the carnal is temporal. Okay, when you cross that threshold, when you cross that realm from carnal to spiritual, that's when you dive into the realm of immortality. Okay, you see, and the thing, that's when you do as it says, the fruits that will remain. Okay, when you start working, you start the labor of love, which is the labor of servitude of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai. Those are the things that are going to remain when you invest in the kingdom of heaven rather than to invest in the kingdom of earth. Okay, in the kingdom that is now. Okay, you see. So again, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, because again, like, put that into perspective. You win an NBA championship, you still have to come back next year to win it again. It's not like you won today and you're gonna be the NBA champion for forever. No, next year there's another tournament. Next year there's another run for the title. Okay, but when Yahushua sets a crown on your head, okay, when Yahushua gives you the victory over the world, you won't have to do it again. Just as Yahushua doesn't have to go back on the cross again. He did it once and that's it. Once you obtain that glory, once you obtain that victory, it's over. Once you get beamed up in the chariot, it's over. You won. You overcame the world. Okay, and you will have the blessings evermore. On the right hand of the Most High, there are blessings forevermore. Come on, man. I can't even start to imagine the things that the Lord has prepared for them that love it. Okay, that serve Him and that fight for Him. All right, but again, it all starts with you having that foresight, being able to be there before it even happens. You have to be in that mindset that you already obtained it. Okay, and strive to to hold it, to withhold it until the end. As it says, he that endured until the end, the same shall be saved. Okay, because it's one thing to keep it. Many are called, but few shall be saved. Okay, so it's one thing to have this understanding, but it's another thing to keep it. Okay, remember Saul. At one point, he was prophesying with the prophets, but what was his end? He ended up dealing with a woman that had familiar spirits. Man, he turned to voodoo. Okay, Saul went at one point he was with the prophets, but he ended with the witchcraft. Okay, because the Lord departed from him because he disobeyed. Okay, that's another point. So again, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. We're not shadow boxing. Okay, we're really doing a spiritual. We entered into the spiritual arena, and we're fighting for eternity. We're fighting for something that will last. And as long as we as long as we cross that finish line and obtain that crown, no one will be able to take it away from us. Okay, so as it says, but I keep under my body and bring into subjection, lest that by any mean, when I have preached unto others, I myself should be a castaway. And that is something that we do not want to partake in. We do not wish to, after doing all this work, end up being a castaway. Okay, falling short from the glory of being found worthy of salvation. Okay, and being judged and having the same reward as those that forsook Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Right. So that being said, the elect are fighting for the future. The elect have foresight. Okay, and we pray that we're part of that number, are willing to stay kingdom minded throughout the days in this wicked kingdom, so that we can strive and hope to be found worthy of that said salvation. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.